one of the most important parts, I'm just listening, welcome back. One of the most important parts in real estate is the follow-up. Real estate's a really big thing, so I'm not talking about necessarily commercial real estate, although it's probably true in real estate investing. You definitely want to follow up with motivated sellers as well. You want to age the leads a little bit to become more motivated over time. What I'm talking about, hey Toby, what I'm talking about is more in regular real estate with real estate agents. I work with agents that have been real estate investor agents, they've been short sale agents, they've been listing agents, buyers agents. Right now they seem to be more buyers agents. I know in the short sale business it was extremely important to follow up for months because it takes a long time for people to wrap their head around the fact that they're losing their house in foreclosure. Hey Johnny boy, and they're going to need another house. So one thing that I have probably kept on agents the most on over the years that I've known them, and they've heard it before, everyone's heard it before, but the one thing I'm really on them about is follow-up. And the reason is they say, most of the sales are made after like 5 or 8 sales attempts. And I feel like the follow-ups are even way more than that. It depends where you call it an actual sale. They're going to talk to them 50 times before they close a house. It's just the person's probably ready to committed to maybe see a house or possibly get the properties emailed to them, and they're very much committed or they want to be pre-approved probably within 5 or 8 follow-ups. But it's a little bit different with everybody. For the people that are looking for credit repair, like I talked about in the previous post, or need financial help or budgeting help or need to pull some of that discretionary income to pay down some of their credit cards and some of that kind of stuff, those people are going to take a lot more follow-up and hand-holding. But you will be able to help them with the buyer's journey a lot more upstream. Hi Ron, what kind of investments do you recommend? Hey Johnny boy, well it depends. It depends what you're in. I don't know what state you're in, or like if you're used to buying fourplexes, or if you're used to buying duplexes, or looking to buy a house to live in, or maybe use Airbnb. It really depends. I would have to know more context about how long you've been, how long you've been in real estate and so forth, before I could maybe advise some stuff. With what assets in general, still not 100% sure what you're asking. If you're asking for a house that you're going to live in, 1.5% to 3% down would be the kind of assets that you'd need to get into a house. You could do anything from Airbnb and renting out a house for more money by doing Airbnb versus renting it out for the cash flow with a renter long term. And then you obviously want to build up equity long term, but it's really about the cash flow is really what you're looking for, because the cash flow gives you cash on cash return, and then that cash ends up giving you more cash to be able to put down payments later on. That first house that you're going to be living in, you're only going to need about 1.5% to 3% down, whereas your future investment properties, if you manage it correctly and the bank likes your credit score and your qualifications, you're looking at about a 20% down, and that's where people start to slow down a little bit more. Now, there are ways to get into investment properties for a lot less than that, but you're talking about some fairly creative stuff. If you're new to the business, it takes a little bit of time to go into the real estate clubs and so forth to learn about owner financing and $1,000 down payments to the seller, or somebody who's in pre-foreclosure needs you to catch up 3 of their payments and move them out and maybe rent out the property that way and so forth. And I can talk about that in some of the future periscopes as well. But I do want to emphasize the cash flow, no matter which route you go, whether it goes rentals or whether you become a real estate agent or whether you use Airbnb or whatever way you choose to go. I would highly recommend focusing on the cash flow part of it, because the part you don't want to have happen in real estate is getting over leveraged. Do you recommend real estate or some financial investments like stocks instead? I'm not an advisor when it comes to stocks and stuff. I've spent some time. I did stocks a bit about 20 years ago. There's a lot of ups and downs and cycles in the stock market. Stock market seems like such a daily swing trade type of thing nowadays, and I don't even know if they're even real prices. I prefer teaching. I prefer building pipelines and teaching real estate just because I'm more familiar with it. But what I was going to say is definitely be careful about the leverage, because the leverage can really get you like right now, well, what we saw last time. Hey, Danny Tanner, isn't that the name from Full House? Anyways, we went down about 50% out in this market. And a lot of across the country, it went down about 50%. And it just got to the point where people had 10, 20, 30 houses and they just couldn't hold on to any of them because the margins were too thin by the time the market went down. Hey, thanks for inviting followers, Johnny. And the market went down, and then, it was really tough. I mean, I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody had 20 homes and they kept leveraging themselves, and they're like, okay, well, I got 10% equity, right? So, like, I got $1 million on paper. I got 20, 30 properties. I got well over $1 million on paper. But the problem is, by the time the market goes down 10%, now you're down to, like, no equity, and you got to pay a real estate agent to list it, and holding costs because it takes longer to sell it, right? You end up needing to get rid of all of them, and you can't sell houses like you used to because the whole market slows down. It just, the whole thing's a dominoes effect, and you just end up losing about all of it. So it's very touchy when you over leverage everything, because leverage works both ways. Looks like we got a lot of people on here now. Thanks for inviting everybody. Looks like we're getting some pretty good demand on here, so I'll go ahead and do some more. 22, 27. Wow, you got a lot of people on here. I'll go ahead and do some more of these real estate ones, since we're getting a lot of people on here and a lot of demand. Danny Tanner, you've got the picture and everything. That's awesome. It's the same picture from 30 years ago, but wow, all these people came on here because you invited them. That's awesome. You're from Minnesota. Welcome. Are you related? I am not related to your dad. No, Johnny, you definitely. Holy crap, Johnny, you got a lot of. I'm interested in buying a house. 9,605. Yeah, Johnny, I'll have to check how many people you know, because that's sure a lot of people that got on here from the invite. Moving to Minnesota soon, I need to find a place to live. Okay, well, yeah, definitely connect with me, and we'll see how we can help you on that. Or you're all from Minnesota? Yeah, Johnny, you're the man. Yeah, let's connect with me on Messenger sometime. Yep, definitely can do that. Can help you with that as well. Yeah, I don't know how the invite would have got that many people on, but that's pretty good. I'd like to buy a moose. Nice. I'm from Minneapolis, and where I could find some real estate. I actually just had a McCafe is all I actually had. I kept it simple. It looks like we got 226 real people on here right now, 233. The numbers just keep going up. It's really good. So, yeah, the sounds. You recognize the sounds, Danny Tanner from Full House. And Full House is like the perfect thing to be on a real estate house conversation, right? Danny Tanner has a full house if you guys want to rent out a full house Airbnb. 69 Klein, you want a place in Minnesota? That's cool. Red, I think you can on the showing, yeah. Yeah, kind of a random conversation. But all right, well, it looks like we have over 300 people on here so far. I mean, that's great. Yeah, John, yes. A lot of people talk about the balding part. That's like a big thing for people for some reason on Periscope. So, Jack, you can connect with me on Messenger, and we'll definitely talk about real estate. Oh, boy, Red's got some other stuff he has to deal with. So, we got a bunch of people on here that want to talk about real estate, and that's awesome. It's Minnesota for Bill. Would love a house in Minnesota. I just need a pitch. Yeah, I guess, Johnny. I mean, what is it going to go up to 1,000 people here pretty soon? It's not so bad. So, yeah, I'll do some more of these about real estate investing, and we'll do some about real estate as well. But yeah, it's really about building the pipeline. It's about helping people along the buyer's journey. How many houses have you sold? Any chance you could? So the agents I'm working with are working on between $10,000 to $30,000 months of 2 to 6 closings a month. I help them with the marketing. I live in Minneapolis and I'm looking for a nice ranch. I can live in isolation forever. Okay, we can help you with that. Can you help me out? These are some pretty random conversation. I can't leave the scope now. Well, yeah, I mean, when you got 400 people live on the scope, it is kind of hard to leave the scope. isn't it? So any house, let's see, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. These are some of the most random comments. So, all right. Well, it looks like we got a lot of people on here. Thanks for the retweet. I appreciate it. Rob must be Mr. Quinn because I recognize that. Thanks for the shares. I appreciate it. We've got mentioned on Twitter. Thanks for that. We're almost up to 500 people, so I appreciate that. And I'll have to make sure I take a screenshot of getting the 450 people on here. Hey, yeah, how have you been? I haven't been on some of your Twitters lately because I haven't been really periscoping about you know, cryptocurrency and all that stuff. But it was we had people on here that were talking about like $5,000 for cryptocurrency and stuff, or for the Bitcoin and stuff. It was like it wasn't at that; it was at 8,000 something. So in real estate, Johnny boy, are you from Minnesota? I got people I'm helping with marketing on contract for deed, owner financing, and credit repair, and helping them with the buyer's journey. Oh, we're getting some pretty random quotes on here, so I might have to shut this off, but I need a house close to the school, but not too close. 100 yards, that's not good. What's the Minnesota market like? I think the Minnesota market's pretty good right now. We're getting multiple offers on stuff. I'm seeing buying property. I've heard Minnesota is nice this time of year. Yep, it is nice this time of year. At least these $490. How to put in an offer? You just gotta go look at some homes first. You gotta get the emails of the properties you're looking for first to make sure they're the kind that you're looking for. So, I don't know, Rob. What do you think? Are these we got a legit 473 people on here right now, or is this Periscope doing its numbers again? I live in Minnesota. The cold. I'm wanting a house in the suburbs. Have my own business, self-employed, 16 years. I can't keep up with all these comments. Over $1 million. You want to buy something over $1 million? So, all right, guys. Well, it's been a great Periscope, Johnny. I can't thank you enough. And Rob, it was good to see you again. And I will be on again soon. And keep sharing, and I'll be on another time soon.